What's good, people?
What's going on?
It's nearly the end of the month, Ernie.
Huh?
It's nearly the end of the month and you still can't get your stream right.
But,
anyway, good evening, Crystal. Good evening, Daddy Ernie.
Good evening, well, boy, we're here. We're here.
We might get it right one day.
Well, it was all right until you cut me out, and then all of a sudden it's gone wrong. So obviously something happened at your end.
But Ernie, you never hear the saying, you have to left it and set it and left it. Why are you farting with it for? Were you trying to make it? Were you trying to make it like you're trying to make it ruby red like your shirt? What was you trying to do? What effect was you trying to bring?
Hold on. I'm just trying to so that you can see. Hold on.
We don't want to see. We don't want to see your bedroom. We don't want to see your bedroom. We're too old for that, Ernie.
How are you, Crystal?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm not bad. Just a flash of your nails.
I'm scared to actually do that, given what was said behind the scenes.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, just give us a little wave.
A little flash. There we go.
Jeez.
And let me repeat what was being said behind the scenes. We were talking about a lovely little track by Shenseer, and Ernie thought that maybe that Crystal might be crabbing up people's skin with it. I just don't know why. I just don't know why he went there. I don't know why he went there. Hey, but Crystal, them nails, man, them long.
Them long, but them look nice.
Do you cook?
Oh, they look beautiful. They
look
nice.
Do you cook?
They look beautiful.
Of course. It's not going to stop me from cooking.
Oh, all right. Okay. I was just checking.
Yeah.
Do you cook in your gloves, Ernie?
Huh? I know without or with gloves, mate. I'm not in the cooking thing. I'm in the air frying business, mate.
Hey, tell me something, Ernie, before we go into the show. How's your air fryer? Has it maxed out? Are you fine with it? It's the best purchase you've had.
You can't get an air fryer for love or money right now. Everywhere you go, that particular one is sold out, bro. I'm telling you, they should be giving us at least one to give away. At least. But they won't.
But true, we know. So you find it difficult sometimes to plug in on the show and all of them things and the green screen. What's the mad green screen? Did you find working on the air fryer complicated? Was that complicated?
No complications at all, mate. I'm telling you, it is the best. It is the proper lick. I'm telling you,
it's the best investment you've made.
Yeah, man. There's only one thing that I think can beat that, and I'm going to get that for the summer. Is one big jerk pan. My brethren makes some jerk pan, and we've got one. My son got one. Andre got one. He said, "Dad, the jerk pan's wicked." I said, "All right, I'm going to get one as well." So big up Danny and the crew up in up in Wembley, who takes care of the jerk pan business.
Jerk pan man from Wembley.
I think we could be in with a chance. We could be in with a chance of getting one from him actually to give away.
A jerk pan?
Yeah, man.
So, you're going to deliver the jerk pan, Daddy Ernie?
No, we'll deliver it. We'll get it delivered. I put a Manchester United logo on one side and some other logo on the other side, and we'll get it over to him.
Nobody don't want the jerk pan.
Is this what we're doing? We're giving away jerk pans.
Can you repeat what you said just now?
Not even a little air fryer or something like that. You want to give a jerk pan?
Well, I think we got more chance of giving away the jerk pan than the air fryer. Because the jerk pan is one a wee. So I think a couple of little plugs for his company.
Judging by the quality of the show, that's all we'll get to give away is jerk pans. We'll never get to a standard where we can give away air fryers, man.
I'm gonna have a word with him and see if we can give away a jerk pan.
Well, listen, I've just posted it in my Twitter timeline. I know you can, Ernie. I know you can. I know you can do it. I know you can do it, Crystal. We got a very big show. So, guys, if you're watching right now on YouTube, we'd like you all just to press the like button. We say every week, and I look and I think, well, there's so many people watching, and the only request we ask for you, we're not taking any tax from you, anything like we ain't doing a Boris like that. Just press that like button. Just press that like button right now. That's all you got to do. Touch it once. Don't be like Ernie and start fasting with it. Touch it one time, and one time only. Do it right now. We can actually see those thumbs up. So if you just touch that thumbs up on YouTube, you touch it on Facebook, and if you share it, we'd be over the moon. We'd appreciate it.
And remember to drop your comments as well. We like the comments segment that is going on. There's one in there at the moment. I don't know where that's from.
What's it saying?
I don't know. All VOM red. That's all. But the top piece, I can't make out what he's saying. What's that? We need some translation on that.
I think it's Russian, mate. I think it's Russian.
You know, VOM. I wonder if it's President Putin trying to get through to us.
Putin's got other things on his mind. Putin right now has got other things on his mind. Putin is looking to invade some the borders of Russia. It's a crazy situation, but I mean, it's a crazy situation all around. We talk about football, but the world right now, what a mess. We've just come out of one mess and we're back into another mess.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know your politicians are gagging for a punch up. They want a war. They're like, we're going to war with Russia. I won't be warring with Russia, mate.
No,
I've seen what Abramovich money can do. I won't be doing none of that.
No. But anyway, it's the fixture list, the Friday night fixture list. Of course, starring Talawa TV, Robbo Ranks Radio, and yours truly, Daddy Ernie. And as we said, we're going to be joined by the Massives. I don't know if did you say we're going to be joined by Robbo?
No, I didn't. I was leaving that big up. I was actually leaving that for you because you're the.
No. I'll leave that to you this weekend. Rodney's back. I can tell you that Rodney's coming. Rodney's going to be with us very shortly. He's a great
Rodney Hines. But Rodney Hines is going to be joined by one of his colleagues in the print world, and he's a big deal because he's the football writer at the Mirror newspaper. And there's been plenty of evenings I used to go down to Choice FM and see Daddy Ernie rolling in, rocking him with a can of Coke and a Daily Mirror in his back pocket. And that meant he was ready for work. So he's the football writer at the Daily Mirror. And some of you guys would recognize his face because he's always taking care of business on Sky, a lot of the football debates, BT Sports, and all those landmark shows. Darren Lewis will be joining us today. We got help for you today, Talawa.
Yeah, I
get to understand that Debs is going to be passing through the Guna Debs. She didn't like how Ern was going on, but I don't think she's got. I don't know. We'll find out if she's got talk like Ern, but she's coming to defend Wagwan with.
Finally. It's been a while. Been waiting to have Debbie back on the show. I think this is going to be the first time that I've managed to share the same platform as Debbie, because before I joined you guys, she was on like sometime last year, right? I think she might have done the same show with
and she defended it.
She's amazing. So the cannon fully loaded tonight, and as you said, Mr. Rodney Hines, another gooner. I don't actually know who Darren support, but you have to watch your step tonight, Daddy Ernie, because the cannon's fully loaded.
Darren is neutral.
Huh?
Can't be.
He can't be.
I got a feeling he's
neutral. He's too great at his job to not be to be neutral. Like he must have had a team.
Arsenal or Spurs he supports.
I don't think it's Arsenal. I think you might be right. It might be Tottenham.
I think he's Liverpool.
Liverpool?
Why not?
Could
be.
You
would think that, wouldn't you?
It's a great club.
Yeah. I think he supports Man United, man. That's a great club as well.
Yeah, it used to be. Used to be a great club.
Still up Master Blaster.
I have to big up Master Blaster because he actually joined my live stream last night for the home game.
There you go,
Mexico.
How do you know Master Blaster?
Yeah.
Darren Lewis supports Liverpool. Ernie, what can I say?
He's guessing. Well, we'll find out. Darren's going to be with us soon, so all will be revealed. I think Master Blaster's hoping.
But Ernie, what does it matter? Whatever teams he supports. I mean, what does it matter? This is a football show. It's not. I know if it was just you on the show and this journey was just called Fixture List with Daddy Ernie, it would just be all about Manchester United, more Manchester United, and Manchester United. But it's not. It's about us.
Yes.
And Arsenal, and more Arsenal. Now, Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a tough week. We're going to talk about Jamaica's exploits.
Has been a tough week.
It's been a very tough week. I know Crystal this week was loading and uploading. She said, "Why ranks me up the wall of the football? Me nice. I'm going to watch the wall and I'm going to watch that." She was so excited. I spoke to her in the week. She was so excited. She was watching AFCON, kickback, doing her nails, and then she thought that she could sit and watch Jamaica without having a cardiac arrest. That was crazy. Come on.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the results, but you're not happy, right? What did you expect?
I kind of feel numb at this point, but just going back to what I was saying, massive thank you to Master Blaster, because he actually joined me on my live stream yesterday, like in the comment section. And I think he was there for the majority of Jamaica versus Mexico. So that was nice to see him around. In terms of the game and the results, at this point, I just feel numb. Just completely numb. I was nervous going into the game because every game so far has been crucial, but more so this game, there was a huge emphasis on Jamaica needing to, walk away. They were playing at the office being the national stadium, walk away with all 3 points. And the way we lost it, it was just so typical of Jamaica. But yeah, we'll get into that, as you said.
We'll talk about that definitely because it's not just a break in the Premiership. Obviously, teams are still fighting out their places to get into the World Cup, the richest World Cup ever in Qatar. But let's talk about back home very quickly. Oh, and I got to say, people, if you're a Tottenham fan, Expressions should be joining us today, but he said he had to check in early, so I'm going to play you something what we did with Expressions, and we will play it out. We'll put it up so you guys can see it over the weekend. But Expression, being a Tottenham fan, he weren't having it, Ern. He was like, "Who's that Ern guy?" I said, "Well, Daddy Ern." Goes, "No, the other Ern. I am the original Tottenham, the mayor of Tottenham." So Expressions is going to be joining us also on the show. Those of you who've seen him on his live, he is crazy. He's one of the best content maker, football fan content maker. He's like that. He's so quick. So you'll see that in a hot minute. But I got to ask you this, Talawa. Let me, because if I talk about Manchester United too long, Ernie tells me off. We have to wonder what the hell is going on at Arsenal. You guys ain't getting a slip. We've done the whole Ollie at the wheel. It's time for us to understand what is going on with Arteta at the wheel. He's not pulling up any trees over at Arsenal.
It's not even about pulling up trees. I don't know if he's planting any. It's better if you can plant than to pull. But with Arsenal, it's a little bit complex at the moment, given that we're approaching the final days of the winter transfer window. Ernie. And nothing has
complex.
It's just complicated right now. I don't understand what's going on at the Emirates.
Do you know you need someone to sort it out though, Crystal? I think I'll tell you.
3 weeks, 3 losses, and 3 times you've been accused of doing nothing. It is with regret. You're fired.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I did my job. I did my best. I think he's got to go.
You've been waiting on that, right, Robbo?
Alan Sugar should come and sort it out.
Alan Sugar.
Is Aubameyang gone to Barcelona?
Aubameyang doesn't even know whether he's coming. Aubameyang's looking for the keys for his Ferrari. What do you mean is Aubameyang gone to Barcelona?
She's muted herself. It's going from bad to worse. What do you reckon?
Crystal, are you with us? I think you've got to jump back out and jump back in, Crystal. We're getting interference. Yeah. I don't know if he's gone to Barcelona, Ernie. I don't know where he's gone, but he'll be going somewhere by the looks of it.
I think I heard today that he might have gone to Barcelona. but I can't see anything on the wire. But it looks like he's definitely not going to be back wearing an Arsenal shirt anytime soon.
Is that intuition?
Yeah, my intuition tells me that.
Yeah, your intuition is rubbish.
Don't play with my intuition, you know.
Your intuition is rubbish. Crystal, we're still getting a little bit of interference there. We can't hear you. It's all over the place. It's scrambled. It's definitely happened. One little slight disrespect. One slight disrespect to Arsenal, and it's gone berserk over.
Yeah, we just mentioned Arsenal and everything's gone all right. Let me send her, because that link that we had earlier on, Robbo, it didn't really happen, you know.
Well, it happened for me.
We kind of had to restructure up and resend. So let me see if I can send her this one. There you are. See, Rodney says the StreamYard link is not working. It's a 404. That's what I was getting. So some quick little things just to go on now. Let me see if I can just fix up this thing here. So is it gonna be Mane and Mo Salah final?
Mo who?
Mo Salah.
Who?
Mo Salah.
I don't know anybody by the name of Mo Salah. I don't know anybody the name of Mohamed Salah.
No, I call him Mo Salah. I don't know about no Mohammed business. I call him Mo Salah.
Yeah, it's Mohamed Salah. His name is. His birth name is Mohamed Salah. Get it right, son.
Yeah, but we've all got birth names that people don't use. So I'm not using that. I'm using my one, Mohammed. I'm using Mo Salah.
Just because people use the birth name to you, see you next Tuesday, doesn't mean that you got.
What do you reckon? Is it going to happen?
What is going to happen?
The final. Is it going to be Mo Salah?
I think Mo Salah is going to find his way in the final, but they got to get past Morocco.
And that's not going to be easy, is it?
Whoa. No, you're definitely not better. You're interfering. I think you got to check your microphone again. Test it and come back again.
I'm gonna send. See,
anyway,
she did say she doesn't know what's happening at Arsenal, innit? I'm gonna send Rodney this link. Rodney.
Anyway, while you sort out your phone, we do have the big man in the building. He's joining us, and he's currently somewhere on the motorway. He is a football writer extraordinary at the Mirror and loads of other places. You've seen him on Sky Sports, BT Sports, I suppose ESPN. I think all the football channels really. And he's here with us, Darren Lewis. Wagwan, Darren. It's a dark Darren Lewis, though.
Where is he?
It is. Many apologies.
August is the glasses.
Darren, come on. Darren, come on. You can share some of that interior car cabin light, man. He's on the motorway, people.
Well, I'm going to try with a little bit of light in here. Just see if this works.
We know that you're in the Bentley.
We have light. We have light.
We know you're in the Bentley.
Let me start off by saying, Mr. Ernie, you're a legend. I listened to you for many, many years now. I love your work. I have much respect and appreciation for what you've done. Standard bearer, yourself as well, Rob. I love your work too. And it's a pleasure.
Thank you very much, bro. Well, we love your work.
Yes.
We love your work. And to be fair, Darren, I wish there was 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 more Darrens, because one, you're like our friend Rodney. We call him the cool ruler. Every time I've seen you pace yourself on TV, you never get ruffled. You never let them get at you. And you speak only the facts. So well done for that.
Thank you very much.
Why is it that we see you in bits and spits and spurts on the TV and not as regular? Is that the way you like to work, or is that something that you just have it happens as and when we do see you on the TV?
Well, I think a lot of it is because I spend a lot of time. I have several jobs, as you know. I work for the Daily Mirror, so my time is really split between the Mirror, which is my primary job, and then doing all of the other broadcast things as well. So I sadly have to turn down a lot of things because I don't have the opportunity. I just don't have the time to be able to do them. But I do try to get on air whenever I can, particularly when there are issues, when I don't feel that we are represented well enough. And as you know, sometimes we all grow up and we've seen things on TV or heard things on the radio. And when we hear what's being said and hear the way that we're being represented, it doesn't bear any semblance of reality to our experience. So it's important to be on there to be able to correct that and to put our point of view across.
Do you I was joking about the being cool, but I mean, over exaggerating the fact that you're very calm, but you have to have a calm demeanor, because some of the rubbish that we hear flying over your head when you're in studio by pundits who some of them have played the game, so it seems they have a more important opinion than anyone else, and some who've never played the game who are just typically TV hosts. Do you have to keep a lid on it when you're sitting on those shows, when they spout off rubbish about the Aubameyangs and the Pogbas? Hey, what do you reckon, Darren?
I think the first thing is that, listen, whenever I go onto shows, I always have a lot of respect for the fact that the players, the ex-players who've been and seen it and done it, they have been in the situation that the players they're talking about find themselves in. But at the same time, I do think black footballers for many decades now have been misrepresented in certain situations. And while other players can do bad things and get away with it, certain players get characterized as a problem when they probably do lesser things. And I'll be honest, I think I look at people like Paul Gascoigne, Tony Adams, who were fine players on the pitch, but off the pitch did things that we all would not condone at all. And those things are well documented, but those players are still seen as national treasures. Whereas anytime anybody mentions certain black players, it's in a negative context. And it's something that we are often frustrated by, but we can't do anything about. And that's why I feel it's important, as we say, to talk the things and say what we need to say in the way that we want to be able to say it. Otherwise, certain falsehoods continue and certain stereotypes continue and certain characterizations of certain players continue. And I think we've reached that point where we can't let that happen anymore.
Well, we're currently seeing it now with regards to players' contracts. And it over the space of the week, I've heard the amount of doo-doo about Anthony Martial, obviously Aubameyang, as if these guys don't have, like, all the players up and down the league has contracts, and they adhere and they respect their contracts and respect the clubs they play for. But the moment that it's time up for them, or where they feel they need to move, they are vilified. They're talked about in the worst ways. Do you get a bit tired of hearing that trotted out every summer and every January?
Well, the one I feel strongest about is Aubameyang, because I remember he carried Arsenal on his back to the FA Cup, scoring goals, crucial goals against big teams. He scored goals away from home when very few other players even managed to get halfway to double figures. And he was the guy on whom Arsenal pretty much survived. He saved, you could argue, Arteta's job in some very difficult moments during that season where he scored goals for fun. So he earned every penny of the contract that he was given. They were desperate not to let him lose. And then he lost his form, and the club showed him very little sympathy. Now, look, he may well have done things that would have required a good man manager to take him to one side and say, you are the captain. You can't be seen to be doing this. But instead, he was made a sacrificial lamb. And that was the thing that I had the biggest problem with. Because when you consider what he's done for Arsenal, the way that he's been vilified is very disappointing. And it will be very interesting if he ends up going to a Juventus, to a Barcelona, both of whom need an experienced goal scorer, and actually recaptures his form. Because Arsenal haven't managed to score, I think, in the last 4 matches. One of them was against Nottingham Forest, another was against Burnley, the other 2 were against Liverpool. One of those games was against Liverpool side that didn't have Sadio Mane or Mohamed Salah, and they still couldn't score. And when you exile top goal scorers, you have to win matches. You have to score. Otherwise, that judgment comes under the microscope.
Well, he's lost his form, and some may think he lost the keys to his Lamborghini, and he's been turning up a bit late to football matches. But how much slack do you think can be given to the captain of Arsenal? And are you saying that the punishment that's been dealt out by Arteta, do you think he's gone over the top? He's going to lose he's lost an amazing goal scorer if he does push him out the club.
Yeah, I do think he's gone over the top. I think that no one's beyond the law. So it could well be that Arteta could have taken him aside and could have read him the riot act. But mid-season, when you're nowhere near achieving your objectives, you need to keep every player on side. You need to manage situations. You can make a longer-term plan maybe to get rid of a footballer, even if he's your captain, if he's not doing well. But mid-season, bear in mind the fact that Arsenal's season, trophy-wise, is over. They're not in European competition. They're out of the FA Cup. And we're
I like the way you said it's over. It's over.
It's an uncomfortable truth.
If he's going anywhere, Darren, where do you think he'll go? Because I saw something today like he's going Barcelona. Because he's not going to go to an English club, is he?
Where'd you see it on the back of your glasses? That's just intuition goals.
I can't see him going to another English club. I think if he were to go somewhere, it would be to a Barcelona where they don't have a high-class goal scorer at the moment. Juventus have just signed Vlahovic, who is having a terrific season, and he looks like a fine player.
Very good.
Barcelona are still in transition, and they do need somebody who can make the most of the goals and the opportunities that Adama Traore should be providing for them, given that they've stolen him from Spurs. So yeah, if he would, and I think he'll be desperate to go. I don't think he wants to go to the Far East. He's had a few options from the Middle East and the Far East, but I don't think he wants to go there. I certainly know he doesn't feel that he's finished in European football. So I think we'll see him somewhere in Europe for the second half of the season.
Quick question also while you're here, Darren. There's been a few players that's been trotted out. One, an interesting player to me because of obviously the whole contract situation, and as I said, some of the names that's been dished, some hard dirt, is one Jesse Lingard. Now his situation is interesting because Newcastle, with all this money lashing around, Manchester United have stuck this price, which they believe the negotiation should start at 12 million on loan. Where does that leave Jesse Lingard in the middle of it? Because obviously he should be doing his job, playing good football for Manchester United. He wasn't. But how do you view that situation? Because it's a tug of war there.
There is a tug of war. I think that he is the master of his own destiny, to be fair to the clubs. First of all, Manchester United are perfectly justified in saying to Newcastle, we don't want to make it easy for you to take our player. Your long-term aspirations are to be as big a club as we are. So why should we give you our player cheaply? If you want Jesse Lingard, pay £12 million. He might be cheaper to other clubs, but you have the money, you can pay. And Newcastle have made great play since the owners took over about the fact that they want to conquer English football, European football. They want to go out and buy big players. So when they go knocking on doors for players, understandably, clubs say, well, you have the money. You've been shouting about it. We're going to slap the Newcastle tax on and charge you an extra 15 million, 20 million pounds.
So you reckon it was a £2 million? Do you reckon it was like £2-3 million loan, and now it's gone and they put an extra 10 on it?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it does seem ridiculous on the face of it, but let me ask you this, Robbo. If Daddy Ernie suddenly came into £250 million and he wanted to buy your £500,000 house, and he knocks on your door and said, Robbo, I'd like to buy your house. You know he's got a huge amount of money. How much does your house cost to Daddy Ernie?
Well, because I know Ernie can't count, I'll just say it costs 600,000. That'll bamboozle him.
I know he was going to come up with something like that.
I hear what you're saying. So they obviously stuck a big big tax on it. Newcastle tax.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, look, I think they've tried to sign the Sevilla defender Diego Carlos. Diego Carlos ordinarily would cost them around about £35 million. Sevilla want close to £50 million because they know that Newcastle A are desperate because they're in relegation trouble, and B, they have the money. And it's totally understandable. No club has an obligation to help Newcastle. So the situation they find themselves in is that they either have to buy lower profile players who aren't as good, or if they want to get top players who can help them do what they want to do, they're going to have to pay big money. And that's just something they have to accept.
Wow.
Christian, you got something for Darren?
Is my audio any better
Yeah,
now?
you're good.
Yes,
Okay,
good. Your nails.
brilliant. I was panicking. Good evening, Mr. Lewis. How are you?
Good evening. I'm very well, thank you.
Did the guys manage to ask you, by the way, about the football team you support?
Yeah.
I normally keep that very quiet. But I'll be very honest. Since we're among friends, I support Liverpool. And the reason
There we go.
Yeah.
Some clarity.
Ernie, don't vex.
I thought you was going all right, you know, Darren. I didn't rate you.
Don't vex, Ernie. Don't vex.
No, the background behind it is that as a teenager, I was a big fan of John Barnes. And when he was at Watford and he would do his thing, and as we all know, he had horrendous racist abuse, but this was a guy I used to be transfixed by because he was able to rise above it. And then he went to Liverpool and I followed him. So by extension, I supported Liverpool, and then it just went on from there. So I've been a Liverpool fan now for the best part of 35 years.
Amazing.
So if you'd gone United, you'd have been a United fan.
I probably would have been, yeah.
If you went to United, he wouldn't have been that good. He probably wouldn't have been that good.
What are you talking about?
There you go. Listen, Darren, I know you're on your road, but let me just welcome our other journalist in the house so you can say hello to him. It's the great Rodney Hines. Now, this is what you call
legendary Rodney Hines. Good evening, Rodney.
This is like two cool rulers. Ernie, have you heard Daddy Ernie? Have you heard Gregory Isaac and Gregory Isaac together on one track? Can you imagine how that would sound?
You know that.
Gregory 1 and Gregory 2. Jeez.
No, he's Darren's the legend, my friend.
I know.
I'm really fascinated. I didn't really even want to be on the show tonight. I'm just happy listening. Trust me.
I'm noticing what it is. You know, the two of you got a very cool demeanor, but Darren's already nailed it. He goes in, he hears things that he doesn't want to hear. He doesn't want to blow his top. So I think that's the same with you, Rodney Hines. You're the same. That's where that coolness comes from. It's just all the crap that you lot hear, and you just don't want to.
Yeah, we do hear a lot of crap, but we hear some golden nuggets as well. What a real privilege to be on the same show as Darren Lewis. My New Year's totally made up. Totally made up now.
What's wrong with Ernie?
How long have you got to spare? Gaza, how are you?
I'm very well. I've missed you. I
don't miss you. I see you every Sunday, my friend. I watch you every Sunday.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, I've got a little. I'm having my winter break right now because there's no football this coming Sunday.
Okay, fantastic to see you there.
It allows me to catch up on some much needed beauty sleep.
Yeah, but all jokes aside, you do a fantastic job. To see you there on mainstream TV, delivering it the way that you do tonight and every night, huge. I can't, I try and send you a little WhatsApp message every now and again, but fantastic. Trust me, it's special. As I've said before to you privately, and I say this all the time. You were around a lot longer than I was around. And you were the forerunner before me, because I remember seeing you sitting on BBC Breakfast and many shows before I ever started doing TV. And I mean, we're joking a little bit, but you and I know, Rodney, that a big part of the reason that we have a fairly relaxed demeanor is because very often when we go onto TV, people expect us to scream and shout. They're very used to the concept of the angry black man. And so we know that when we go onto TV, we don't want to give them what they want. It's
for us to stay calm and composed and to represent our interests in as considered a way as possible. What they love is to have, either if you're an angry black woman or an angry black man, you give them what they want. So it's important for us when we go onto TV, not just to represent ourselves well, but to maybe show, our kids, our cousins, our brothers.
Absolutely right. But seriously, it's great to see you. Fantastic. We must try.
Has it got any easier, Darren, since this whole George Floyd and diversity and diversity and have you seen any signs of it getting a bit easier?
Easier is probably, I wouldn't say easier, because we're seeing at the moment a number of things that don't necessarily suggest that things have changed. But I think what is giving cause for optimism is that people are finding their voices. Back in the day, people stayed quiet because they had to, but now people know they don't have to. The younger generation behind us, as we would say privately, they don't business. They say what they need to say in any space they have to be able to say it. And I think that, and even players as well. When I started at the Daily Mirror, 22 years ago, for the first 10 years easily, maybe even 15, players would be too scared to use their voices. And I've always been of the view that footballers have huge commercial power, the ability to be able to say, because nobody, if a player speaks out about a particular issue, if you're a commercial entity, you are never going to not back a footballer. That's got to be in line with your values. And players have now started to realize that. And that's another big part of the change that we're starting to see. We're also seeing more black women in football as well. There are some outstanding contributors like Jess Creighton and Anita Abayomi and some other fantastic black women in football. So people are finding their voices, and the landscape, thankfully, is starting to change.
Well, it's good to see. And once again, I second everything that Rodney says. We enjoy seeing you on the TV. Love the common sense and calmness that you bring, especially when you're talking about players from our community. So respect once again for that, man. I know you're busy on the motorway. We thought we was only supposed to have him for 10 minutes, but you're busy getting to what area? What part of town?
I'm busy getting to
Newcastle. It's got to be Newcastle. That's where the money is nowadays.
No. I'm having a business dinner this evening in deepest Epping. So it's
I love it. I love it.
Is that in the forest? Is that in the forest or someone's yard?
Actually, I have to say, just in case anyone's listening from Epping, it's a very nice part of town.
It's a very dark part of town as well. Listen, Darren, thank you very much for joining us. Please come on again soon. Love to have you back on.
Good to see you, my friend.
There you go. The great Darren Lewis in the building.
Take care.
Good to have him on, man. Yeah, what a thing.
We need to get some lights on him next time, though, Robbo.
But we need to get some lights, but I think I need to get my music selection. Can't have the great Rodney Hines, Darren Lewis, and no music. Wagwan. Rodney Hines, welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. How you doing? Everyone all right?
I'm not too bad.
All is well.
It's good.
Rodney mentioned that it's good to see women in the house, and before I let Rodney chunter on about what we've been talking about transfers, we have a female in the house who's a massive fan, and she's a season ticket holder, Ernie. You don't even know what a season ticket holder is. She supports Arsenal, so maybe she can give us she can see Debs in the house, the famous Debs. Debs, they've been waiting for you.
Can she season?
Can I what?
Can you season? He says you're a season ticket holder. You can season.
She's a season ticket holder.
Can't we all?
Oh,
Ernie can't.
Robbo can't.
What about
Good evening, Debs.
Hi, Debs. Hello.
Hi, Rob.
Debs, Rodney Hines is in the house. He's an Arsenal fan just like you. So we got a Arsenal fan in Talawa, Rodney, and Debs. So that's three of you. Come on. How's the season going so far? How's it going so far?
Well, I'll pick up on that one.
Go on then.
I'll be, if I'm honest with you, I would have anticipated, especially after the start that Arsenal had to the start to the season, them to be in a fourth place shake-up, whether they make it or not. So I think they're overachieving right now with some of the internal challenges that they've had. Yeah.
You think they're overachieving, Arsenal?
Yeah, without doubt.
Wow. What do you reckon, Debs?
I think Debs has gone cold turkey on us. Yeah.
It's all the excitement of being an Arsenal fan.
You know that. They do get a little bit excited. Maybe it's a good thing they ain't pulling up any tree stumps at the moment because three of them.
Can you hear us, Debs?
Smashed.
She's on mute, I think.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
But when you say they're not putting up any trees, they're sixth in the table, and a couple of points behind Man United.
But that's what you should.
I mean, you know, if you're looking at that table, you go City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and then under normal circumstances, you think Tottenham, United, or Man United should be there or thereabouts. I think Arsenal are overachieving, if I'm honest.
By one place.
Possibly.
Okay.
Sorry
Debs, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm sorry. Somebody was at the door.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
At the door.
We were saying,
Mr. Aubameyang, yeah, probably.
Mr. Aubameyang.
Look at his keys.
You said, I hope not.
Debbie, is Arsenal overachieving in your eyes?
Overachieving? No, I don't think they're overachieving. No, I think we need to finish fourth. But I don't know if we finish fourth, that would be a good season for Arsenal.
That'd be overachieving.
That'd be overachieving.
Why is that overachieving?
Because you're a 7th or 8th place team now, isn't it?
What?
You're a 7th or 8th place team now, Arsenal.
7th or 8th, yeah, but we still got half a season to go, babe.
Yeah, but it don't matter.
I'm just saying what Arsenal. This here the fighting talk. It's what Arsenal is.
Hang on a minute. Where are United?
Forget United. Let's just deal with Arsenal.
We're in front of you.
Where they are, though.
We're in front of you.
But are you? But where are you in the league? Do you think you're going to finish fourth?
Well, we've got more chance than you.
No, not a chance. I think
there's more chance. There's more chance of Bob Hope turning up at the Emirates.
But I mean, Ern, you said 4 weeks ago you weren't this bright or bold. You weren't this bright or bold.
No.
Hold on, because with all due respect, you were losing to Watford.
Yes.
You was getting hammered by Watford. You had a team that weren't cohesive. So it shows you how quickly things can turn around.
No, but I still maintain that we would finish above Arsenal. Although
you did.
You're 2 points ahead of Arsenal. So Debs, what are you saying? They're 2 points ahead of you.
2 points.
But forget Tottenham for a minute.
I think that's manageable, don't you?
Forget Arsenal.
And I think we've got a game in hand. Maybe have we not? Right?
Correct. Absolutely correct. So that's what I'm saying. Everyone's making it sound as if it's a done deal.
Why can't we finish fourth?
Exactly.
Why? Because you're not.
And maybe more importantly, when you look at it, Tottenham have 2 games in hand over Man United. Yeah. And are only 2 points behind. So I don't see where all of a sudden this love fest is coming from Man United. No. It's the fourth spot is there to be had, and there's four teams. Okay, West Ham are dropping away because they've played maybe more games than anybody else. Everybody's in the shake-up. We're on a mid-season break. There's transfers to be sorted between now and Monday night. So if anyone can tell me conclusively who's going to finish fourth, they must have Russell Grant's crystal ball.
Well, and we've been doing this without a striker as well.
Exactly.
Debbie, do you think you're going to be talking about a shake-up where Aubameyang's concerned? Would you be happy that he drives off in the Lambo?
In the Lambo, yeah, I would actually. I was listening. I didn't hear all of what Darren said, but the bit that I did hear, I'm not quite sure if I agree with what he said. Yes, Aubameyang a couple of seasons ago was brilliant, but last season he wasn't. Was it last season he wasn't that great for us? How many goals has he scored for us this season?
He's a near 20 goal a season.
The issue that Darren mentioned is simple. If you're winning football matches, no one complains. Do you understand? And when he got dropped, from the team, the Sakas, the Odegaards, the Smith Rowes were doing what they needed to do. Arsenal was scoring 4, they were scoring 5. Now that it's not as smooth, obviously the focus is back on Uber. At the end of the day, though, those bridges have been burnt now, as far as I'm concerned. We have to move forward.
No going back.
There's no coming back from that now.
I'm not convinced that we've missed Aubameyang, because to be fair,
Nor am I.
Exactly.
No, but it's obviously a conversation now because we're not winning games. Fair enough. Marcus Rashford wasn't scoring 6 weeks ago, and Ernie wrote him off, but he's now picked up. Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
Oh, come on,
he's your only. He's your only striker. He's your only.
I talked about his injuries, and I talked about the Euro 2020 fallout last time I was on the show, and you totally dismissed him.
I said he had to.
If you want to look at recordings, let's do it.
All right. Have you got any recordings of that, Robbo? Me saying writing off Marcus Rashford. I was
not on this show.
I was the one who got the scoop that he had fallen out with his girlfriend, and maybe that had something to do with it.
Was that intuition again?
No, definitely. Since November.
How you know?
I know. My intuition and my inside information told me.
You think he's the only person that's got a life and got a girlfriend and a wife and kids?
And it looked like it licked him.
So what?
No, but Robbo, some people can take it and some can't. He's young. He's been with us since school. They've had a parting of the ways, and maybe his football dropped off. It's significant that they've made up, and all of a sudden he started banging in goals again.
Listen, he's a professional sportsman. I'm not saying it doesn't have some effect when you go home, but come on, man.
Look what happened to Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods is a totally different situation.
Those things do have an effect. Those things will have
Tiger Woods Tiger Woods ended up in a tree. He was in a tree. Marcus is not in a tree. Marcus is feeding children.
Well, maybe that is taking a lot. That is sort of taking precedent over his football, because there has been enough talk saying maybe he needs to refocus on his football.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You know what I mean? But
anyway, with all due respect, I think there were quite a few Man United players that needed to do that, not just Marcus.
To do what?
Refocus.
And he's got inside scoops. Big up, Bev. And he's talking rubbish.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
He's talking rubbish.
I'm telling you, Marcus broke up with his girlfriend, in November, and after the Christmas. And
what did they break up for? What was the reason? Do you know?
What
was it over?
Yeah, I can tell you. I can tell you why. She's a Liverpool fan.
Yeah. Well, she's Italian. She's gone back to
She's Italian. What's that, Debs? She's Italian.
She's probably gone back to Italy.
Oh, well, she's come back now. She's come back now. So everything will be falling into place very shortly.
You with your inside scoops, bro. You with your inside scoops.
Be a scoop, mate.
So let me bounce over to I know you'll be loving this, Debbie. This player was supposed to hit the floor around about now. He was supposed to be touching down at the Sainsbury's car park, Adama Traore, and he said, nope. I want to go back to La Ramblas. I want to go back to West part I come from. I'm turning up in Barcelona. This is the club that schooled me. And he said no to your second favorite team, Tottenham. Rodney, Debs, and Crystal, and Ernie. Good move, bad move.
Sorry to cut you off, Debs. Go on.
No, you go, babe.
Is that in terms of the toss-up between Spurs and Barcelona?
No, for just purely down to Adama's life choices.
Yeah, I think that, well, the argument is there in terms of who is performing better and where he's likely to settle down more in terms of a footballer. But outside of that, in terms of the superiority that both clubs offer, I don't think you can even put that and Tottenham in the same sentence. But obviously, you can understand why he would go back to Barcelona, don't you? Even with Barcelona looking depleted and unlike their usual self, maybe he kind of feels like he has a point to prove, because it will be alone, won't it? So maybe he might feel that unlike last time round, he has a point to prove, and depending on how he does between now and the duration of the season, the current season, he might be able to secure a full-time deal back at Barcelona. So you can understand why any player would choose. I can't believe I'm even saying this, but choose Barcelona. It's Tottenham.
But
Like,
Rodney,
seriously?
Rodney,
yeah.
don't you think he'd missing out on this wonderful, glorious, immaculate Italian coaching of Antonio Conte? Don't you think Adama Traore would be 100 times a better player under Conte?
I'm not sure, because I think that every press conference you see Conte give, he's almost in tears. He's talking about you need patience. It's going to take a while. We're a long way behind this club and that club. I think he even said they're a long way behind Arsenal the other day. So I don't think that's what Tottenham fans want to hear. You also got to admit that, if you like, Traore is just really going back homeward, isn't he? That's where he came from. And I think the rumor was that Conte wanted to play him as a wing back in a new system at Tottenham, very much the way he did with Victor Moses in the title-winning team at Chelsea. And I think Traore got wind of that. Don't want to play wing back. I want to be an out-and-out attacker, winger, etc., etc. So at the moment, I mean, you focus quite correctly on a lot of things that happen in Arsenal. At the moment, Tottenham is not the most appealing place to go right now, apart from the stadium, and it's a fantastic stadium. So I can't say blame. Culturally and lifestyle-wise, I think Barcelona over an N17 or whatever postcode it is a no-brainer, really.
Well, exactly. I was actually just about to say, one's a seriously sophisticated city, and Tottenham.
Yeah.
I take it you don't like Tottenham, then, Debs.
Not really. No.
I mean, if you're gonna
to the derby, though.
If you're gonna talk about Arsenal's, let's put it, demise and lack of trophies, what's the Tottenham story then? With all due respect, you know what I mean. So
yeah, but it's normal. It's normal for Tottenham, though, isn't it?
As I said, and I've said it on the show before, where Arsenal are at the moment, there's only 2 trophies per season they can win, and they are now knocked out of both. The FA Cup, the League Cup. Clearly, they're never going to win they're not going to win the Premier League, okay? And clearly, if they're not doing that, they're not going to be in the Champions League, etc., etc. So at the moment, Arsenal fans like myself have to accept that. And as I said, you know, what is the plan? What is the pattern? Compared to where we were maybe a year or so ago, purchase young players that hopefully will be part of a successful team, or if that's not quite the case, you're then sadly selling the Sakas, the Smith Rowes down the line for 100 million, so you can reinvest in the club. So the Aubameyang scenario, I think, has muddied the waters down at Arsenal. But as I said, it's always going to be a discussion when they're not winning games and they're not scoring, I think, since New Year's Day. But prior to that, I think from the day he got dropped, Arsenal was scoring 4s and 5s, and the young players were doing what they needed to do. But as I said, I understand how the media works. I'm part of that. It's now not happening. It's now not happening for them. So, Uber. I get the situation. You can't rule anything out. But I think if Arteta is so far down the road, and I do actually think he's gone too far with it, by the way. But he's so far down the road with that scenario. There's no coming back. There's something called kahunas.
I bet you'd want him back for the COVID rescheduled, the COVID game.
But you know what it is? You say that, Robbo. With all due respect,
you'd want him back then, wouldn't you?
You're not talking about a fit and firing Aubameyang previously to that. You're not. Do you know what I mean? You know, if you were talking about, well, this is a Sadio Mane or a Salah or an Aguero at his peak, yeah, I understand that. I think Uber's done his best work at Arsenal already. And those were those early seasons when he didn't have the support that he needed. I mean, he single-handedly won us the FA Cup.
How old is Aubameyang? How old is it?
He's about 32 now.
Oh, he's a young man.
That's not in football terms anymore.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not young in football terms.
For a striker, he's still got 3 years in it.
32 is young.
Wouldn't he have 3 more years?
A finisher.
And you know
till he's 35.
Fine, but he won't do it at Arsenal. He's going to move that on.
Well, to be fair, at the moment, he's playing like a 32-year-old.
Ooh.
He has been for a while.
Yeah.
That's harsh. That is harsh. That is.
He's done his best days at Arsenal.
Yeah, definitely.
And what it needs now, I think to go with the policy, Arsenal need a young striker who's in his mid.
Yeah.
You see, I went to the Arsenal Burnley game last week, and yes, there were players missing, COVID injuries. Arsenal still had enough in a very poor performance to win that game. And I remember a run that Smith Rowe made in the second half. Went to the byline, got it over
Lacazette.
to Lacazette. Lacazette is not a killer. He's not a killer. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's why strikers go for the money that they go for. Yeah. They do the hardest and most sexy thing on a football field. And if you can get someone, peak Aguero, peak Salah, peak Drogba, they're worth their weight in gold. And I think Arsenal have been missing that for some time. But as I said, they're not the only club to say that. Do you know what I mean? Because
Rod, would you play Martinelli up front?
You know, Debs, we've had this conversation before. I really don't think he's ready.
No,
he's not ready. He's not ready. Did absolutely nothing. He did nothing last week against Burnley.
Yeah, but who did? I thought. Hang on. I thought Martinelli was one of their best players.
No, the best player for Arsenal consistently, and last week was Saka. Last week,
yeah, it's got to be
outstanding. He goes past people like they're not there.
Did you see them at the end of the game? They were on their knees.
Yeah, but what you have there, Debs, is a scenario where we're constantly relying on young players.
Yeah,
and this is the difference. You need the in an ideal world, the Aubameyangs, the Lacazettes, to step up and make that fusion of young and experienced players going in the same direction, and that's not quite happening.
I think Martinelli can play up front. If you play Odegaard behind, if you play someone, I'm
not disputing the fact that he could do that. I just don't think he's ready yet. Don't forget, these guys have really had their opportunity in starting games because the senior players haven't delivered.
Yeah.
If you remember when Smith Rowe got into the team, it was 2 Christmases ago now. Arsenal were on their face in the league, losing home and away. I think Arteta picked him for the home game against Chelsea.
Yeah.
And he helped Arsenal win. And it's difficult to leave the young players out, but they need a rest physically and mentally.
Yeah.
So as I said, Arsenal still needs time, and you know, that's what I say. You know, the race for 4th, I wouldn't make Arsenal favourites simply because I don't.
You want a striker?
They don't have the squad. And as I said, I think you look at United's squad, and with all due respect, United should be right up there with Chelsea and hopefully rubbing shoulders with Liverpool. But United's demise has given everybody else a chance. Do you know what I mean? In that chasing back. With all due respect, Tottenham are not putting up any trees either. And West Ham have played too many games for it to count now, I think. So that's what I'm saying. There's a possibility. I think Bruno Fernandes came to Man United in a January transfer window, and he made a difference. And this is why between now and Monday night, if you buy the right player, they might just make that difference. Remember when Lingard went to West Ham? Made that difference. I think
when Willock went to Newcastle, made that difference.
I tell you what. Everyone criticises Arsenal's buying policy. I tell you what, the selling policy. Chris Willock, Debs, for about 30 million. And Alex Iwobi for about 35. How the hell did we get 60?
Come on, Iwobi was a fluke, man. Iwobi's fee was a fluke, bro. Come on, that was a fluke. Mashiri just went like that. Just handed it out. That was a fluke. But listen,
if you want to talk about a club with problems, let's talk about Everton. If you want to talk about a club problem,
they got big problems. Listen, we've got a lot of listeners listening in from. We're playing out the stream from Africa. Shouts going out to Sammy Kabuchu. Arsenal is a good team, but what are they supposed to do? They're supposed to take games more serious. They're not serious at all. Very good, young, talented players, but keep losing games. Shouts going out to Sammy. Big up Matrix and a few of the people that's hitting up the show on my page. But listen, and we'll part the Arsenal conversation. I enjoyed that immensely. It was so entertaining. It's like it's what a Friday night show should be about. Talk about Arsenal and not Man United. We've done too much Man United. Tomorrow we got the AFCONs.
It's getting serious.
It is serious. Gambia, Cameroon. The favourites are still in there. Burkina Faso, Tunisia, Tunisia's turning up, but Burkina Faso is really kicking ass. Egypt, Morocco, that's going to be a very hard game. They are neighbors. And I was speaking to an Egyptian in the gym, and he was like saying, we're going to bust their ass. But I said, it ain't going to happen. I think Morocco, I think Salah comes home. Come home, Salah. And the game, Equatorial Guinea and Senegal. Senegal should breeze that. But as you see with Equatorial Guinea, they can turn up and make man lose their rag. So that's the games tomorrow and Sunday. That's the AFCON. But let me move over swiftly to Crystal. Crystal, as I said, was during the week fiddling with her new thing. I'm not talking about her nails, a new thing. And she was trying to deliver us some good news where Jamaica's concerned in the football. Crystal, I know you plugged in. You was up on your stream. You're saying, look at it. People, we're there. We're come for take it. We're going to the World Cup. And, you know, everybody was in the right frame of mind. You know, the guys were like, we can do it, boys. You can see they were clearly ignoring Mr. Hall's speech. They weren't interested in what Paul Hall had to say. This happened. But it was 0-0. What happened after, Crystal?
So much happened in that second 45. How significant was that sending off for Damien Lowe? I think with Liam Moore coming on I believe it was in the second half for Walker. Is it Walker? Yeah, Liam Moore coming on in the second half. I think that was needed. But I think it's just more of the same for Jamaica, to be honest with you, because it's just same old Jamaica, what we've seen from the start of the World Cup qualifying campaign. Going up in the second half, in the 50th minute, I believe. So shortly after the second 45 had kicked off. And Daniel Johnson, that was a neatly taken strike to put us up. I think a lot of us were kind of fooling ourselves in hindsight that we're going to do what should have been the unthinkable, and that's the finally
10 men, 1 goal up.
Yeah, just to finally beat Mexico. And it's interesting because Mexico is not the Mexico that we are so used to seeing. They are far from their best. A lot of the Mexican fans are a little bit frustrated with the fact that they can't seem to move on from their age players, and they don't have that equal balance of age senior players and young youthful players coming through. And I thought that maybe we could capitalize on that. And also the fact of the way in which Mexico came into that game as well. They were on a 2-game losing streak. And I guess you can say that it's understandable given the fact that they lost previously against the United States and against Canada. Coincidentally, both of those teams are sitting above Mexico in the league ranking, in the league table in which we're all competing in. So that's understandable. But at one point, it looked as if Mexico could be handed a hat-trick of defeat on a consecutive basis. So they were basically there for the taking in their last 4 games, 3 of the games being international friendlies and the others being World Cup qualifiers. They came into the match against Jamaica conceding 9 goals in total in comparison to what Jamaica had conceded over the last four games. But even taking that into consideration, it's just like it's just not going to happen. Again, scoring in the 50th minute, and then you wait until the latter stage. Literally, you could see the touching distance just staring at you, and Jamaica just fall apart within the 80+ minutes. And just like that, 2 minutes later, Mexico just equalize and take the lead.
Does that mean Mexico are close to qualifying? America, USA, and Mexico, Jamaica's it's all over, all over bar the shouting now.
Mathematically, we're still within it, though.
They're still going with this Max thing and Ernie on the show.
It's over and out. Like Daddy Ernie said it. Daddy Ernie has said it so many times, like, it's just over and out. But one thing I will say, since we did touch on Mr. Hall, that being the new interim head coach, Mr. Paul Hall, I think it's clear to see that he's coming in, he's trying to clearly galvanize the nation, and the spirit around the camp does appear to be much more positive. Even in our loss against Peru some couple of days ago in an international friendly, we looked a little bit more calmer. There seems to be this morale that's just raising up, that wasn't there to see in the last couple of games under the previous head coach.
I saw him stroll into training, Paul Hall, and giving the players high fives and
Yeah,
fist bumps,
yeah.
like Wagwan, Armenian Paul Hall, Wagwan, and they were like, who? Yeah, Armenian Paul Hall, and it looked like he had them galvanized, but just didn't work out on the football field. And to lose 2-0 at home in an important qualifier, I don't think Jamaica is quite.
It's just the way we conceded as well, Robert. It's just like you could write this, you could tell that it's going to happen.
So what was your big striker from West Ham?
He was actually substituted towards the latter stages of the full 90, and I think that's where there was a few raised eyebrows, because of course you'd like to pile on the pressure a little bit further against Mexico and try to double the lead with Mikel Antonio. But he was substituted, and on came Andre Gray of Queen's Park Rangers, and a few people were a little bit displeased with that, and you can understand the reason why they're displeased. But I think the substitution that most certainly cost us the game was the substitution for Javaine Brown. Javaine Brown came out, and on came Alvis Powell. And unfortunately for Alvis Powell, he's a bit like Marmite at the moment, again, amongst the 12 man.
Yeah.
Some people like him, some people don't like him. He came on for Javaine Brown towards the latter stage of the second 45. And unfortunately for him, the goals were conceded pretty much based off his mistake, him not being able to do his job at the back post. So we were made to pay for that, and that was an expensive decision from the head coach.
So Ernie, you giving back that? You're going to send back that Jamaica shirt on Amazon then? You're not keeping it? You still got 30 days.
It's got to go back. It's got to go back. Yeah, it's got to go back. Unfortunately, it's got to go back.
Have you been watching any of the games, Rodney? Have you kind of preed any of the games? Because there's a lot of teams You're muted, bro.
You talking about the Jamaican games?
Well, the games where the World Cup qualifier, because obviously a lot of people assume there's a winter break, but there's a lot of qualifiers going on.
I've kept an eye on them, but I just want to go back a little bit. You talked about the Cup of Nations and obviously what's coming up, but I want to just give thoughts and prayers to the people that lost their lives in that stampede during the course of the week. Absolutely tragic. And not the greatest advert for the game, but you go to a football match. You go to a football match to watch a game of football and you don't come home. We've heard a lot of that around in English football in the past, haven't we?
Yeah, this happens. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry. And as I said, thoughts and prayers to everybody. In terms of Jamaica, it's interesting, because I spoke to a Nigerian journalist. I'll go backwards to go forwards. I spoke to a Nigerian journalist about arguably the biggest shock of AFCON so far, Nigeria being knocked out. And I said to him, what's the way forward? And surprisingly, and a little bit like the Jamaica scenario, he said to me that there's an over-reliance on players who play their football abroad. He said that he believed that the homegrown Nigerians should be given a little bit more love, because it's interesting that what Crystal said, Mikel Antonio was subbed in that game, that crucial game. So it's almost like the Premier League or those playing in big European leagues are seen as the sort of superheroes to save their national teams. And that isn't always the case. Maybe a little bit more time.
But surely it's because they're playing at a better level of football. Isn't that? I mean, that's got to
but that better level of football hasn't manifested itself, Robbo, in success for whether it be Nigeria or Jamaica.
But that might be because it's hard to gel those
exactly.
Players.
Exactly.
If you can get the spirit right, you can probably get the spirit of the
players. I don't think they're short of spirit, but if you look at the league table that you were just talking about, Jamaica are off the pace. Now we all know about their Premier League players, but with all due respect, both Nigeria and Jamaica have had their magical moments on the global stage. What they haven't had is consistency. Yeah. And I think a lot of us, because we see individual African players in the big leagues, the Premier League, we're almost, I don't know if our expectancy is too high or whether we should, dumb down those expectancies. I'm not quite sure, because if you look at African players just on an individual basis, they're putting up massive trees.
Yeah. But I mean, the quality of the player should be, that's the first thing that should be observed. The quality as opposed to where the player what league the player plays in. But if you've got these players that are playing in lower leagues, I'm sure it's going to tell when you put these players on a pitch that they're just not at the level to play against top
I
teams.
agree with you, but some of those players that you're talking about in the lower leagues, whether it be Jamaica or Nigeria or anywhere for that matter, are going to be the next names on the list of the Premier League coaches that are looking for talent. So that's what I'm saying. The talent's obviously there. It's just how it's nurtured, and then, as you said, how it's fused.
What do you think about Paul Hall, Rodney, being drafted in as a coach? Crystal done a great interview with John Barnes. John Barnes has made it widely known that he would take the job. Do you think that helps having a coach with a higher caliber? Do you think that helps these
Once
teams?
again, it's no guarantee. I mean, obviously, John Barnes is the sexy appointment, but would it work? Would it work? What do I think of Paul Hall? I think Paul is exactly what he is right now. He's just the interim coach. I think a lot needs to be sorted out there, and a little bit like some of the clubs we've talked about already, maybe Arsenal included. There's no magic wand to success. You know, the Klopps come in at Liverpool and put their stamp on the football club. The Guardiolas do that. Tuchel to lesser degree at Chelsea. It's not an overnight success, even at club level. And the one thing you're not getting now is time.
No time at all, yeah.
And we're talking about Arsenal the way we're talking about. I don't know if Debs would agree with this. This time last year, Arteta was everyone's favourite to lose his job.
Yeah.
He's still there and he's spending money. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, did United stay too long with Ollie ultimately? I don't know. It's that thing, and that's why the top teams are the top teams, because I see Klopp and Guardiola are a little bit like Wenger and Ferguson. They control their football clubs from top to bottom. They control their football clubs, and everybody else is just faffing about. Chelsea sack their managers when they win Champions Leagues, but we know their policy, and it works. As I said, I've said it to many people, and I know I've moved away from the international thing a little bit, but there are 4 or 5 leagues within the Premier League. And I would say right now, not wanting to offend Chelsea fans because you are champions of Europe, even Chelsea have been made to look ordinary sometimes this season. So you've got City doing what they're doing, Man City doing what City doing what they're doing, Liverpool do Chelsea, and everybody else is just scrambling about, really.
Yeah. Listen, guys, I see that you're commenting. Shouts going out to Lewis Mastermind. Good evening. Devin Linsby said Jamaica were robbed against USA. I think, listen, Devin, they were robbed, but I don't think that would have made a difference, man. But yeah, and on your point about the AFCON, Devin said it's an absolute disgrace. The tournament should be cancelled. That's a bit harsh, Devin.
Well, is it a bit harsh? I think if that had happened at Wembley Stadium, God forbid.
Well, look what did happen at Wembley Stadium.
8 people lost their lives?
I'm saying that 8 people lost, but 8 people could have easily lost their lives at Wembley Stadium because there was no security control. So let's just, get it in perspective. Things do happen at football stadiums. 8 people losing their life is God forbid, is it's a terrible situation anywhere. But we saw what happened at Wembley during the Euros. There was
pandemonium.
No people could have easily lost their lives, but it didn't happen. But hey.
I saw Patrick Tapping as well. I saw him. He's threatening to come on the show. I saw him at my bash last week. He said that I've had a word with him, and he's angling to come on the show. So it'd be great to have Patrick up in here.
Let me get your intuition. Can we get a crystal ball intuition from Ernie? Now, Ernie, big jobs up for grabs right now. Rodney mentioned it earlier on. It don't look like none of your friends are going to get the job, but come on, Ernie, big intuition. Who's going to get that job? Who's going to get the job at Everton?
I think Lampard. I think fan power is going to get Lampard in there, because they
Everton fans want Lampard.
They want Lampard. They definitely don't want that. Is it Piera? Is it Piera or Vieira or something. Let me see what's going
Portuguese coach? Is that Portuguese coach, right?
Yeah, Ferreira, I think his name is. Everton will, yeah. And Vitor. Oh, so they're going to hold talks with him and Lamps. But I got a feeling that Lampard probably will get that job. But once again, it's a job for the boys, isn't it? Because I don't hear none of our people's name getting called up in them jobs.
What about Wayne Rooney's one of your people's then?
What? He ain't. You know what I mean? I mean, even Arteta's job could be on the line. I don't know what Deb and Rodney feels about that.
They're holding out, man. They're holding out hope. They're holding out hope. Yeah.
What do you reckon, Deb? Do you reckon there's a possibility that Arteta could go?
He should be the manager of Everton. Arteta, go now. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I don't think before the end of the season. No, I don't. However, I tell you what, if he did go, I'd want Graham Potter.
Who?
Graham Potter.
Oh, he's a Brighton manager, isn't he?
Yeah.
You reckon he'd fit in at Arsenal?
I do.
How do you fit in?
I like the way he's got his football team playing football. Yeah, I do.
I thought you'd have gone for Patrick Vieira.
I think Vieira should be the coach at Arsenal, man. 100%.
Is Patrick ready to play to manage Arsenal?
For what he's done at
Crystal Palace.
I think he gets a tune out of a team, just like Graham Potter.
I can't hear you.
We can hear you. She's gone.
She looks like she's at Heathrow.
Yeah, she looks like she's trying to call down a plane.
I can't hear Robbo.
You can't hear me? Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you, unfortunately, yeah.
And you can't hear Robbo? Can you hear me, Ernie?
Can you hear me,
Robbo? I can hear you.
I can hear you, Deb. I can hear everybody.
Okay.
Deborah, you're just racist.
What are you saying? Sorry?
You bet you can't hear me. Can't hear any Liverpool fans.
It's just as well I can't hear him, I feel.
Okay.
So you don't reckon that Patrick's ready for Arsenal?
Maybe.
But you're a Potter fan, are you?
I am. I'm a big Potter fan. Yeah, I really like him. I love the way he's got. I mean, and also he bought that. What's that young kid called?
Tariq Lamptey.
Yeah. How have we not got him?
It was at Chelsea, that's why.
But Rodney's not a Potter fan. Are you a Potter fan?
I'm not. It's not about whether I'm a Potter fan or not. He's done a fantastic job at Brighton. Right. Has his team playing the right football, and I know he was even linked with the Man United job. So he's just probably got the edge over Patrick because he's been in the league a little bit longer, and we've seen what he can do. Yeah. And you think it goes back to my point about top quality strikers. Brighton plays some fantastic football, but they end up losing or drawing games that they should win because they can't put the ball in the back of the net.
Absolutely. Well, look at last week when Welbeck had some chance.
Yeah, that's right. You know what I mean? But they'll give anybody a game. So yeah, put it right. I'd say Graham Potter will end up with the top 6 or top 4 job when he leaves Brighton for sure.
Yeah. He should go to Man United.
I would like Arteta to do well. No, I really would. I'd like to, give him. I like him.
Well, I mean, the Man United situation is an odd one because Rangnick has now won a couple of games and everyone's getting excited at OT, and all of a sudden there's talk that he may stay now because don't forget the plan was for him to move upstairs with another manager coming in the summer, but there's now talk that they might keep him.
But there's also talk that nobody wants the job.
Rangnick.
Was that Robbo?
There's talk that nobody wants the job.
Well, listen, all jokes aside, there's always going to be a manager of high quality that wants a job at Old Trafford. It's a prestige job. The team isn't the greatest at the moment, but as I said, Man United is arguably one of the biggest clubs in the world. Who wouldn't want to take that? Even in their current scenario.
Yeah.
Shout to Lewis Mastermind. Yes, I heard about the game. My goalkeeper was sent off, but then not sent off. Then sent off, but not sent off. But the Brazil and I didn't see the game, but I heard it was a matters Ecuador versus Brazil. I just want all my players to come home. Just come home. We got a league to win. We got a league to win. Or no, come home. Come on, Salah Mane.
Robbo.
Come home, man.
Calm down.
Listen,
Even if they come on, you're not winning the league.
Ernie, you got to have hope, man. You got to have hope, mate. Hope.
No.
Come on. Not Bob Hope. Real hope.
No.
Hey, listen. Ernie, you know that during the week you were supposed to join us, but you didn't. We're going to have him as a guest on the show. He's amazing. He goes by the name of Expressions. He joined me during the week. We'll be posting up the show on when Ernie can be bothered to. But Expressions joined us on the show during the week. He, as you know, he's made his name out of what he does, supporting Tottenham. He's a Tottenham fanatic. And he's now taking the internet by storm. And this is what happened when we caught up with him this week. Listen, I'm not going to say, I don't want to call him what he calls himself. I can't be doing this dark chocolate talk. Me. Mickey, I'll say it. You can say it. But he's in the building and he's oozing.
No. One, yeah. It's not dark chocolate, you get me? Even though man can clearly see I'm after 8, them way there. It's actually genetically jacked, athletically stacked, half man, half amazing, modern day Mac, 6 foot of chocolate, make you wonder like Stevie for the gal them just know I'm Expressions oozing. What you telling me, bro?
All right. See, I couldn't say, I have to make you say that. Expressions in the house. Listen, Expressions, welcome along, man.
Thanks for having me on, bro.
Definitely. I am a fan, bro. I'm a fan. I'm not a Tottenham fan. I'm a Liverpool fan, but I'm a fan of your show. I'm a fan of the content you're putting out. It's amazing stuff. A lot of people are if they don't tell you in their face, I'll give you that silent rating.
No, that's all I get. That's all I get. Like when I leave my yard and I get stopped everywhere. Like everywhere I go, I get stopped. Oh, X, I'm a big fan of yours. I don't like Tottenham though. That is I should slap that on a t-shirt, That is what I hear the most every day in my life. Oh, X, I'm a big fan of you. Oh, I hate Tottenham though. And it's like, I can't believe it.
Hey, but that's a good thing. Because if you can get me watching
it's not a good thing and it's not a bad thing. Like you know what I mean? So it's one of them ones where like for me, like it's a thing where I don't know. Like actually, you know what? With my fans, in fact, it is a good thing for the simple fact that one thing I can say is with my fans, is that there's a stigma around this football fan TV thing. So like they only watch it when you lose. They only watch it when you lose. Yeah. My biggest viewed video is a win. Yeah. And with me, like the thing about my thing is if I win, listen, I got chess for everyone. You get me? The other team's getting it. Everyone's getting it. So people want to see that. And if I lose, it's just that my team's getting it because that's what's happened. Like, you know what I mean? I live in reality. That's what it is. I say my opinion, how I say my opinion, but my thing's just different because you get me, blood. Man think I'm a comedian, innit? Like there's an entertainment factor in it, innit? Because I've always been like this.
We're gonna get to that if you are really a comedian. But I can tell you what, I wouldn't say I got into Expression. Now I know a lot of people got into Expressions during that phase. I'd say for me, I started to watch you and pre-your thing a little bit harder during those famed Mourinho years. Because you started. This man was on fire. This guy was smoking. You knew that having Jose was it. You put there you go. Tottenham was put on that mantelpiece.
Yep.
And then it was how the come down happened. I'm not talking super cat come down. It's a real come down with Jose Mourinho. I think that's what put you on the map. It was just your moments.
Nah, listen, Jose, us hiring Jose was like. At Tottenham, the way that our club's run and Jose Mourinho is like mixing pills and alcohol, fam. You just don't do it, bro. You know them way there. Like Jose was the wrong appointment, and I knew it from the start. I never wanted him, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be negative. I'm gonna you support your manager, innit? You get me? Like you support your manager. Like you try and support it, but then when that fossil football took over, you know what I mean? And I felt like it was just scenes from Jurassic Park. Yeah, obviously, you get me. He had to go, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want him to go when they sacked him right before the final. That was a bit, that was typical Daniel Levy. You know what I mean? That was typical Tottenham doing them sort of things. But yeah, he had to go, innit? You know what I'm saying?
But for the audience that don't know Expressions, I've got a minute. And you might be able to answer these questions off your head. Actually, you ain't got no choice, really. You're gonna have to, because it's 1 minute, and it's.
Man said I got no choice, bruv. I've always got a choice, blood. I could literally sit here like this and just look into the camera for a minute, blood. I don't know who you think you're dealing with, blood. I'm not a side man. I'm stay expressions, mate. You know them way there.
This ain't Sky Sports. This is Robo Ranks. Listen, so here we go. Here we go. 1 minute expression. Starting now. Harry Kane, keep or sell? One answer. If there was another team and Tottenham never existed, who would you support?
What football team?
Yeah.
I ain't got one, blood.
Best Tottenham manager?
Pochettino.
Favorite Spurs player of all time that you've seen with your own 2 eyes?
Favorite? Like my personal favorite. It doesn't have to be the best player.
With your 2 eyes?
All right, well, Son.
Redknapp or Pochettino? Legend.
Pochettino.
Okay. Name a club other than Arsenal that you dislike or greater than Arsenal.
Another club that I dislike other than us, Chelsea.
Favorite dancehall artist? I know you know music.
What, right now or all time?
All times.
Vibes.
I knew it was going to be that. I'm going to run out of time, but anyway, I'm going to still ask you, what's your preference, Tottenham home shirt or away shirts?
No, always the away shirts.
Worst player you ever seen with your own 2 eyes? Tottenham.
I can't remember his name. It was that centre back, blood. But I'll get the left back, Gilberto. I will give him that.
Last question: milk chocolate or dark chocolate, son?
To eat milk chocolate, for the gal them to take home dark chocolate, blood.
There you go. Expressions in the building. He's a lunatic.
It was good.
He's very good, man. Check him out on his channel, Expressions Oozing. You can catch him on Don Robbie's channel and does his own thing.
I can't hear anything.
Win or lose, he does his thing. You know what I mean? On his beloved Tottenham. Big up Expressions. I think Deb's having problems.
Struggling. Yeah, she's struggling.
Debs, you're struggling.
It's like your team. They'll struggle.
She's struggling now. They juggle.
So Rodney's gone. So what's Lewis? Have you signed a new player, Robbo?
Yeah, well, it's not signed because funny enough, Liverpool said they're going to send their guys to meet this Colombian footballer, Luis Diaz, and I think they were playing at home in Colombia. And I was thinking, who's sending anybody with a contract and money to Colombia to sign a player? Can you imagine going to the airport and you're turning up with your suitcase? I've just got to do a deal in Colombia.
Yeah.
So then I heard that where he's gonna go and play in Peru or Argentina next. So they're sending the guys to Argentina. I just thought that's a risky move. Suitcase full of money to and a contract to Colombia. I don't think that's gonna work, man. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work at all.
No.
Yeah, Luis Diaz, man. So could be ending up at Liverpool. Shouts out to Lewis Mastermind, Patrick Tapping's team, all at sea. We know. And soon no manager, you wish.
Yes. Well,
it's that time.
Yeah.
You gotta roll out.
Yeah, man.
Shout to everybody that hit up the show, message the show, show love, likes.
Before we go, what do you reckon on the African nations? What you reckon?
I'm still saying, I don't know how the draw works out, Ernie, because I'm thinking that because Cameroon is on, I'm not sure how it works out. I don't know how it works. You got Egypt, Morocco, Gambia, Cameroon, Burkina Faso, Tunisia, Senegal, Equatorial Guinea. So is Senegal on the other side of the draw from Cameroon? Is Tunisia on the other side of the draw from Morocco? That's interesting because I don't know how it. I'd have to have a look and see how that.
Well, I think the final though. I still say is Cameroon. Cameroon.
Winners.
The winners, the eventual winners. I still say it's Cameroon.
Okay, we'll see on tomorrow and Sunday. Those games are on tomorrow, 4:00 and 7 o'clock, and on Sunday 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Gambia, Cameroon first tomorrow at 4 p.m. No Premier League football, but we can enjoy the AFCONs. Let's hope that whatever team you support, they go through, because we know we got enough Moroccans in here.
I want to know this VYNFYI. Who's that? What is that?
It looked like it's Russian. It could be Putin. Could be Putin for real.
Senegal Egypt final. Can somebody quickly decipher that for us, please? I don't know what that is.
Come on, Crystal, you're fluent in Russian, isn't it?
Trying to figure it out myself. What that says, might need a quick Google translate.
Yeah, I want to grab it. There's another one. I reckon he's just cussing Ernie.
Nah, it's got Ernie. K there, man. It's some clock something to do with Jurgen.
I reckon he's cussing you, Ern. I reckon it's for you, man.
Well,
Whoever it's for, never mind. Let's get it out. Listen, thank you for joining us on the show. Please, guys, if you watch the show, please press the like button. Just press that like button now. If you watch and enjoy the show, we're here. We do it on a Friday. Fixture List Show. Crystal Davis in the house with the new nails. Daddy Ernie with actually nothing new, and myself, man.
Before
Ernie,
you go, Fury or White?
You what?
I think Fury. Lewis Mastermind wants to know who's going to win, Fury or White.
Dillian White and Fury.
Yeah,
there's only one winner, Fury.
Yeah, I think Fury takes that, mate. Yeah,
but then again, it's heavyweight boxing, isn't it? What about one knockout blow?
Yeah, well, it could be, but I can't see.
Can't see him landing on the chin.
Nah. After my man punched down Fury and Fury get up, boy, because I swear blind he was out of it. That lick he get, and he got up.
What about AJ, man? No love for AJ. We say AJ just turned down a 15 million. They said sit it out, just chill, hold 15 million, and don't take a fight. Don't try to push for a fight. Man's like, nah, man, I want a rematch. I want that rematch. Just chill, hold 15 million. Man turned down the 15 million to go and get blood up again. AJ, I don't know, man. I think you've been punched too many times in the head, man. I don't know. Don't think so, man.
Okay.
But listen, we'll be back next week for the Fixture List. Thanks to everybody joining us on the show. Crystal, Daddy, Ernie, and me, Robbo Ranks me out.
Yeah,
man.